This is Hannibal and the Hannibal TV mascot Piper here from thehannibaltv.com. And boy, is there ever a lot of backstage drama going on in AEW now. It's very safe to say that the backstage is way more interesting than the on-screen product. And I'm not saying that to take a shot at them. I'm just saying that as a fact. This all has to do with CM Punk, who keeps taking shots at people and causing backstage issues. I mean, I'm completely neutral in this situation. I don't know any of these people involved. I never met them. I really don't care about them either way. At one point, I didn't like CM Punk, but overall, I have to respect all the money he's making and all the control he has in AEW right now. I mean, it's impressive. So good for him. But let me get into the details, the new details coming out. Apparently, CM Punk took some shots after Collision went off the air at Adam Page, who had been basically told not to come to the building on Saturday, even though they flew him into Greensboro, North Carolina, and he was originally supposed to record something at the building. Some are now saying it might not be CM Punk who asked to have him banned from the building. It might be Tony Khan that made that call because CM Punk had earlier in the day got Ryan Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler's brother, unbooked from the Collision show. And apparently the heat with Punk and Nemeth had to do with Ryan Nemeth. And again, I don't agree that you shouldn't be airing backstage stuff out to the public. It should be kept quiet. And that goes, that's just my opinion. I mean, apparently Punk is using the excuse for having Nemeth banned from the locker room is he's looking to keep drama out of the Collision locker room. And Nemeth had tweeted after Punk had returned and made a comment about the Young Bucks being counterfeit Bucks, that Nemeth had tweeted, quote unquote, that Punk was literally the softest man alive, end quote. And that was after Punk's return promo when he returned at the June 21st Dynamite in Chicago. Apparently, CM Punk then saw Nemeth backstage. Sorry, Punk made that comment on the very first Collision in Chicago. Then at the June 21st Dynamite in Chicago, which he was only a surprise on, he saw Nemeth backstage. And according to the Pro Wrestling Torch, he, quote unquote, angrily and aggressively confronted Nemeth, asking him to step outside when they were in the locker room. They then went into the hallway and had a, quote unquote, awkward and weird conversation where Punk allegedly asked Nemeth to call him soft to his face and to, quote, stop tweeting negative things so everyone could stop moving on from the negativity, end quote. So that's where the heat between Punk and Nemeth came. Now, Nemeth, I didn't even know he was in AEW. So he's a low card guy that was wrestling mostly on Dark and Dark Elevation, which have now been canceled. He's very dispensable, and Punk has high favor with Tony Khan. So I would agree that Nemeth is better just staying out of that. But yeah, Punk is 44 years old and has a lot of pull. He's very confrontational and it seems to be high strung again. I've had no direct dealings with Punk, so I'm only going by what I've read. Apparently, Fightful confirmed, quote, it was confirmed to us that Punk did not want Nemeth on Collision, even eating and catering, much less wrestling on the show. If that that it wasn't confirmed to us if that was because of his tweet or his relationship with the Elite, end quote. As far as Christopher Daniels, who's the head of AEW talent relations, being banned from Collision, which is crazy. Could you guys imagine, like, when JJ Dillon, Jim Ross, or Johnny Ace was head of WWE talent relations, being banned from a building? Just wouldn't happen. But this is AEW, and apparently Tony Khan feels Punk is indispensable and is a huge CM Punk fan. According to reports, he was even clapping at the gorilla position when CM Punk came back. But anyways, apparently the reason Punk doesn't want the head of talent relations, Christopher Daniels, at the Collision tapings is because Ace Steel, CM Punk's friend, who CM Punk got a job as an agent. What Ace Steel's qualifications are to be an agent other than being CM Punk's friend, I really don't know, as I've never even heard of Ace Steel until I heard the story about him using a chair on the Young Bucks, which I've never brought a weapon to a fight, and I've been in a lot of fights from grade school up to being a bouncer for almost 20 years. I've never once used a weapon. I've had weapons used on me, and I don't respect anyone that brings a weapon to a fight, especially if the Young Bucks, who are small, and Kenny Omega were not using weapons. So I don't respect Ace Steel just from the stories of him bringing a chair to a fight. But since he's not allowed back, he's working remotely as an agent. So I guess he's not allowed backstage due to his whole backstage fight. The only reason he's being used is because of his friendship with CM Punk. And because he's not allowed backstage, Punk doesn't want Christopher Daniels backstage at the Collision tapings. Apparently, it's been confirmed that Punk is the one that's denying Daniels and Nemeth from being backstage at tapings. Matt Hardy also wasn't allowed backstage at a taping, and of course the Adam Page. It hasn't been confirmed if those were Tony Khan calls or Punk. Apparently Punk wanted in the Blood and Guts match recently, but was denied. Some are reporting that Punk allegedly wanted in a meeting that happened recently with FTR and the Bucks, but was denied. Apparently, and I actually agree with wrestlers should not be speaking out. If you're under contract with AEW, you should not be airing AEW dirty laundry publicly. The Torch is reporting that wrestlers are uneasy to speak out about Punk giving his favor with AEW owner Tony Khan, who apparently was even seen chanting CM Punk backstage various times. Meltzer reports, and I agree with this, that the way Bill Watts would have handled this situation is get everyone in a room and settle it, because this has dragged on for almost a year. And Meltzer says, who's been following this, Punk is bringing up the heat and the negative stuff more than anyone else. So he's bringing stuff up, and it's okay if he brings it up, but no one else can speak out. Apparently, Punk used the excuse that his comment after the show went off the air about Hangman Page was supposed to be a joke. But Meltzer brings up that according to reports, his comment about Hangman Page was due to there being a sign in the crowd about Hangman Page that pissed Punk off, that led him to making the comment on the mic. And the comment about the Elite being the heart and soul of the company that Punk made was in reaction to a press release that AEW put out after they re-signed the Elite, saying they were the heart and soul of the company. I have nothing bad to say about Tony Khan. It doesn't appear he's no Bill Watts as far as control over the locker room, but if I ever had a contract with AEW where apparently the minimum contract is around 150,000 a year, I would just keep my mouth shut and do whatever. It seems like such an easy job. They work once a week or less. Like Ryan Nemeth not being allowed to work, just go home. You're still getting paid. And you don't have to work for it. So yeah, it seems like it easy for me that works really hard and has worked really hard at real jobs all my life. And the most I ever made in a wrestling match, other than matches I've promoted, I've made more for matches I've promoted, is like $400. So people making 150 grand and more a year to hardly work. I mean, it still seems like an easy job to me, despite the backstage issues. But yeah, there seems to be no having the talent relation guy not allowed backstage. To me, that's crazy. And honestly, this Ace Steel guy, as I said, first of all, what the hell has he ever done in wrestling to be an agent other than being CM Punk's friend and bringing a weapon into a workplace backstage fight where no one else had weapons and the people were smaller than him? I just have absolutely no respect for that guy. Is CM Punk an overpaid diva? Perhaps. Who knows? It's definitely interesting that all this crap is going on backstage. They should make a reality show about that. It would be a hit reality show. Anyways, let me know what you think about it in the comments.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates.